Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 470. My name is Christopher Keo, and we have a full house today for the first time in several weeks. I'm here with Travis Baum.
Hello.
Jason A. Striker.
Hey, that's me.
And Jeff Chorney.
What up, guys?
And I think we're going to talk about games today. Is that what we're doing?
We got games to talk about.
I don't know. We've got so many podcasts. It's crazy.
There's so many.
Which one am I on?
But before that, let's see what's going on. Travis, what's up, dude? How are you doing?
Hey, nothing much, my man. I got a new toy.
What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah, I got it right here. I can show you. So people who are audio listeners only are not going to
suckers
to see that. But
what the hell is that?
I got that Elgato prompter.
Oh.
I've been talking about it for months.
You have
finally.
been.
Yeah. So this has been on back order for forever.
Oh, I know.
It's been very.
I tried to get one back in November. And then they said it was going to be like May, and I'm like, no, fuck it. And I canceled it. So,
right.
So enjoy.
So I got the old taxes back in, and I was like, okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is do a little retail therapy. Things have been tough.
Retail therapy.
It's time.
Yeah. So the first thing I did was go straight to Elgato's website, and holy crap, it was there. Like nothing. I kept on going step by step into the shopping cart process.
Just and waiting for it to like cancel or something.
Waiting for the moment
where
it
disappear
tells
along
me,
the way somewhere. It's
waiting for the moment where it tells me, no, this is out of stock.
Yeah.
This was a pipe dream. But no, it never did. Got to the payment, everything went through, and I was like, holy crap. I got the email and I was like, this is real. Like it's actually coming in.
You're like, suckers.
Yeah, so it's been fun using it, messing it around. Got some video ideas planned.
Yeah.
Kind of want to do like a once a month, like a new release type video, and I think the prompter will be good for something like that.
Totally. You can stare into my soul as you're reading off the new release list.
Yeah, usually on the podcast, I'm kind of like turned to the side because I'm looking at you guys through here. But there's a function on this teleprompter where you can treat it as a third screen.
Oh shit!
And then
it's kind of creepy.
Stare. Man. Yeah, it is kind of creepy. I can stare directly at the screen, directly at you guys, but I'm looking directly at my camera.
That's pretty nuts. That's cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like the dynamic that we've got with going on with the camera angles. We got me looking into the middle, and then you two looking straight on, and then Jeff looking into the middle. It works out really well.
I like it.
We're kind of
my camera,
squaring off everything.
Yeah, symmetry is
overhead shot. Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, getting some goodies. I have a first time thing for me. I'm gonna break my Ren Fair virginity. How about that?
You've never been to Ren Fair?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, you gotta go. You gotta go with people that are super into it.
Yeah, and we are, and everybody's dressing up.
Good.
We're already researching our outfits, so I don't want to spend too much money on it. I don't want to spend a maximum of like $100.
No, you dress up like a pirate. It's super cheap.
That's what Melissa's gonna do. So Melissa and one of our other friends, they're gonna do like double pirates, and then I'm just gonna get like a basic like fluffy tunic.
Oh sure.
And then with some like regular khaki style pants. Boots,
fluffy tunic.
maybe do like a leather bracer or something. That sounds cool. I'll wear that all the time. So yeah, that's gonna be happening. Lots of use
out of that stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? So I look forward to.
What's Ren Fair?
So it's called
the Renaissance Festival.
Do you not have American things?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
You poor Canadians.
Yeah, so Jeff has to come down the next time. Jeff,
I mean, turkey. Yeah, we do have turkey legs.
Turkey legs that are made with ham.
All right, good.
Yeah, it's a everyone. You know, there's a cast of people that dresses up and acts like they're from old England and from the town of Newcastle, and it's it's a great time. Is it
like
comedy shows,
like LARPing kind of, just
kind of a little bit of
in
that.
a way. They have like a jousting tournament with which is
kind of cool.
Quotes. It's like it's all kind of an act.
I I've heard of it before, so I'm playing it up a little bit, but I don't think we have that here. I need to.
Okay.
Wow.
I need to look out. I think I saw it on Family Guy once or twice. So
it has to exist.
Probably.
I mean, it's factual, right?
Yeah. Jason, are you guys going this year?
Yeah, I imagine we'll go. Last year we went with you guys, I think, and then I had a hard time moving around, but we'll still probably go.
Yeah, we're going Mother's Day weekend, I think.
Okay, that's in a couple of weeks here, right?
Yeah, it's around the corner.
Shit.
So, but yeah, it's usually a yearly tradition for us, Travis. Like I've been, especially since I started, since I got together with Crystal. I had been like once or twice before that, but Crystal goes every year, and she was like back when we were just dating. She was big on dressing up. Like one of her best friends, Alex, had a full set of like leather scale armor, and he would go in that and shit like that. Like it was.
He looked like
can you go up and like smack somebody with a glove and challenge them to a duel, like that type of thing?
Probably.
I mean,
I have seen that. I have seen that before. Yes.
All right.
It was actually the actors from the Ren Fair, but yeah.
I fell deeply in love with my wife at a Ren Fair, actually. I don't know if I've told the story before, but it was very early in our relationship, and we had gone to Ren Fair. She's all dressed up. I'm just in regular clothes or whatever, but we got her a funnel cake, and I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Anyway, do my thing. I come back, and I see her from behind, and I'm like, God, she is gorgeous. I think I love this woman. And then I get up to her and I'm like, hey, and then she turns around and she's got powdered sugar just like covering her face.
Amazing.
And the reaction was, yep, definitely love this woman.
Yep. And she's like, I'm messy.
I think, that rings a bell.
Oh my God.
And he proposed right there on the spot. That's the way it all went down.
Yep. I'm messy. Yes, she was. Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny.
I do love her.
I have not heard that story, Jason. That's the first time I've heard that story. So good on you, though. Anything else going on, guys?
Oh,
I had
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope.
We'll go in order here.
Okay, fine. My son and I have been on an AliExpress kick. You guys are familiar with AliExpress? It's like the biggest like Chinese retailer in the world.
Yeah.
They sell really cheap
stuff.
knockoff stuff. Yeah, for the most part. But you can also get some like stuff that it's like kind of unlicensed, and like pretty good. I got this leverless stick or controller.
No, I saw you talking about that on Twitter.
Wait, yeah. That's the $30 one?
This is a $60 one, yeah.
$60?
Yeah, it's got RGB and shit like that. But this is $60. It's got a little display on it as well. But it seems to work really, really well. I've been playing it with using it on Tekken because I don't have to jump. So I don't have to worry about that button at all. But no, it's super cool. Like $60 as compared to like a Razer Kitsune, which is about the same size. That's $300, I think. And then like I've got a Junk Food Arcades Micro, which is like half the size of that. And those are like $200+ and it's just ridiculous. So $60 is a pretty good price point.
Yeah.
For something like this, it's pretty rad. So you can get some good deals on AliExpress.
Are you getting decent with it? Because even looking at leverless, man, they hurt my brain. I think I'm too old to learn something.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's easier on Tekken because I don't have to worry about jump. So most leverless have they don't have this up button like the WASD stuff. They just have these three, and then this button down here is jump.
The bottom one's jump.
Right. So that's up. Shit. And that's what really trips me up in Street Fighter. So I decided to get this one, which has the up button. And that seems to work a lot better for me. Because I can physically, I can mentally wire that. Yeah.
Fucking with you. Yeah.
Head up, I go up. It makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yep. Yeah. But no, it's cool. I dig it an awful lot. $60 AliExpress.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Well, and you have to order in 1 and 2 weeks.
Yeah. Are we all talking about retail therapy? I got something too.
So.
What's up, Jeff?
No, that's what mine was going with there. I got Travis ordered something on back order and got it. I ordered something back in, I want to say November of last year. It's been delayed twice, and I just got an email today saying it's delayed again. And that's the deluxe collector's edition for the physical Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
nice.
like, son of a bitch. Yeah. Like the PC versions are going out, and then the console are going out, I think, in Europe soon, and then they're not coming to North America. They're hoping to get by the end of May to be shipping. But who knows, because a month or so ago they said, oh, they were going to be shipped by May or by the end of May or by the end of April. And that's passed. And they were like, oh, sorry, guys. There's issues with supply. So,
oh, man.
I bet you it's hard, man, to print off, to get discs and stuff and all that, because physical media, it's on
the way out, right? So it's like trying to get stuff that is like special made.
No, stop it.
I know.
I don't want it to be on the way out. Stop
it. Neither do I, man.
No.
But
yeah.
I'm helping keep
limited
run afloat at this point.
I have like 4 things I think that I don't even remember now. Now I'm like, do I really want? I think I fucking pre-ordered a Rocket Knight Adventure, whatever.
Nice. They actually didn't they actually do a Genesis cart for that one?
Yeah, I didn't get the Genesis cart because I don't have a Genesis anymore, but I think I got it on Switch. But I like the everything it comes with, and I'm like, you know what? I like that game. Let's fucking do it. Why not?
Let me see. What do I?
And I keep going back and forth, guys. I don't know if I want you guys to talk me into it or out of it. But as you know, I'm going to Disney World in June. I keep flipping back and forth on doing the build a lightsaber thing.
Do it.
On one hand, I'm like, that's awesome. The other hand, it's like,
so you have
$250.
You have 2 options. Yeah. You can build a lightsaber, which comes with the experience of doing it, and that's cool. Or you can go to Savi's workshop and you can buy like a replica, like a really, really nice replica, and you might actually spend less than $200. So you have multiple options. Like you can get like the movie replicas, or you can get one that you build yourself, but it's clearly plastic. You have a choice of like,
it's got some metal in it. Yeah,
it's got some metal, but some of them, like the wood one looks really bad. Like
the wood one I don't like very much.
Yeah. So you have a couple of choices there, but you might actually save money if you just get one of the replicas.
Buy a lightsaber.
That's what I would do, because
probably
those
have
are
a better
awesome
looking one, right?
They do, and they have multiple characters. They have way more characters to choose from. Like you can even get Cal Kestis's lightsaber.
So they come with the blade too, then? Because everything I'm seeing on YouTube, it's just a hilt. I'm like, I don't want just a hilt.
No, you do have to purchase a blade. I think it's like $40, right?
No, that's fine, but you can buy a blade separately.
Yes.
Though,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dude,
maybe I'll do that then.
You can get both. You can get both of Cal Kestis's lightsabers, combine them, and then put 2 blades on a hilt. Cool. Yeah, it's really badass. Yeah.
Geoff, if you want, when we're done, like I have my Cal Kestis here, and then I've got my wife built one back in December, and I've got that upstairs. I can show you what they look
that'd be
like.
cool actually.
Yeah.
Because I have a Darth Vader one here, and I'm thinking like the amount of times I hold that thing up and turn it on is like maybe 3 or 4 times a year. I'm like, do I need another one? I'm like, but I kind of do. I kind of want the experience to like watch the YouTube.
I will be honest with you, like the experience is pretty cool. Like we built 2 of them there. We built one, and this is back in December. We built one for my wife, and then we built one for my brother-in-law, and he paid us back. And in reality, we just let the kids do it, right? So my daughter did the one for my wife, and my son did the one for my brother-in-law. And it was a really interesting experience. And the way they do it is like you choose
pieces, like
you choose a theme,
a set,
right? You choose a theme, and from the theme, I can't remember if it's 2 or 4 different types of each part. And then so they give you the theme, and then you choose the parts from that theme.
Otherwise, so you can't take forever to like go through everything and like
probably. But yeah, my wife got she went with like the Guardian theme or something like that. It's really nice.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad, and the experience seems pretty fun. But if I'm gonna have a lightsaber for the house, I definitely want the replicas.
Like an actual replica or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I hear you.
And the ones you purchase or the ones you build, that you actually get. You can get like kyber crystals to put them in.
Yeah, I've seen
you
that.
can get extras and change them out. And I don't know if they still have it, but the Cal Kestis one, if you get that from Disney, it's color changing. Like they have different colors. Yeah. So I was actually kind of disappointed because I got the big old special edition of Star Wars that was available limited run, as I said, keeping them afloat. And it wasn't the color change one for Cal. It was his. They had three different versions of his. The first one was the battle destroyed one where the bottom of the hilt was messed up. And then the second one was the one he repaired, and then the third one is the color change one. And I got the second one.
So it was just random, whatever you got?
No. It's just all of the special editions came with that one. I have a feeling what ended up happening is Disney made the third one that was color changing, and they had all these fucking extras, and they were just like, here, it's a game, that's probably what it was. But that didn't come with the blade either, and I had to buy the blade while I was at Disney. So.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
But yeah, I'll show them to you after the show.
Coolio.
All right. So Chris, what did you buy this week?
So summer's coming up, and we're gonna have some the kids are gonna be doing some extracurriculars and things like that, and my son's actually gonna be doing trying to do a class over the summer to get it out of the way so he doesn't have to do it while he's in high school. So my wife's like, I want him to have a phone so that he can get in touch with us. I'm like, well, I'm not buying my son a phone. Okay. I'm not going to buy him a new phone. He can have my
distraction. Yeah.
He can have my 5-year-old, Galaxy S10 and I'll get something new. So, I've been wanting a foldable, but those things are so freaking expensive that I just couldn't pull the trigger on one. I've had good experiences with the Amazon refurbishes. I've bought 3 of them, and in the past several years, and they've all held up really well. So they had the Galaxy Fold 5, the newest one, for like 45% of what it normally costs. Like that phone's usually like $1,800 or something ridiculous like that, and it was $800. So I was like, okay, $800 I can deal with.
Wow.
So
that's like $300 more than like a regular like Pixel or something like that.
Yeah, it is. But I haven't bought a phone in like 5-6 years, so I was like, I'll get something that I want.
Treat yourself.
So there's my retail therapy. Here's my 5-year-old S10 Plus, super old, but it still holds up.
S10 Plus right here, Chris. Still have it.
My wife has it too. Like I haven't had a need to really upgrade, so I've just kind of been holding on it until I absolutely needed to. And my wife was like, "Hey, I want my son to have a phone." I'm like, "Cool.
Wait,
you can have my old one." And
you want a foldable so you can make it into a 3DS, don't you?
No.
Oh God, you could probably do that.
Can you do that?
Probably. That sounds great. Okay. Maybe I want a foldable.
I'm gonna look into that. Yeah. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah.
Actually, popping a side, like if there's possible to pop a sidekick on that and use it for
side docking.
Use it for streaming, like streaming some PlayStation to your system or something like that, and I wouldn't have to buy the Portal.
You don't have to buy the portal.
Buy a backbone.
Don't buy the portal, Travis.
Kishi.
buy a backbone.
Yep.
Buy a backbone.
Much that's cheaper. What it is,
Yeah, much cheaper. Cool. All right, man. Let's talk about some games. What do we got?
Sure.
You know what I heard? I heard Jason beat something this week.
He beat it good.
Beat it good. Some of those outfits are rather, and I beat it. Stellar Blade came in with pretty low expectations. I did play the demo, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. I could get into this maybe. So my interest was piqued a little bit more than it was prior. I am head over heels in love with this game.
Nice.
I don't want to say it's like, curated just for me, but it ticks a lot of boxes. Holy shit. It's a character action game, I think at its heart, with some like Sekiro, stuff thrown in as well, because you're not just, doing dodges and rolls, and you're doing like evades during certain times. And anyway, we've talked about that before. It's really solid in the combat department, and it keeps getting better and better because they keep layering on more and more, but not in like an overwhelming kind of way. It seems to come like just as you need it. There's a lot of systems involved. There's like, there's burst, and there's like they've got like an install thing where you can turn into like an angel type thing. It's ridiculous, but it seems to come at a time when combat seems to be getting a little, not stale, but it's like kind of samey. They throw another wrinkle in there, and it makes it.
They drip feed it really well.
Yeah,
it's like right when it's starting to get stale. They give you some kind of new mechanic.
It's great. It's great, and it stayed that way throughout the entire game, like up until the final moments. I'm like, wow, I'm intrigued. I am fucking like on board for this. It's been great. There's no jank to this game. Like I was kind of expecting a little bit of jank, because it's I didn't know that it was necessarily a AAA developer. They were focusing on, the sexy bits and shit like that. And I thought that maybe they'd overlook some of the technical aspects, but no, it runs flawlessly. There's three different modes to it. There's like a balanced, which is kind of in between, performance and quality and stuff. It runs at about 50 frames per second, and it's solid. I was super impressed with that. But
no, I haven't ridden into a single bug or anything either.
Yeah, no bugs,
no glitches.
Yeah, I haven't seen any frame rate drops, any major frame rate drops or anything like that either. So I'm with you on that. Like it performs very well.
Yeah. I was playing earlier today too, and I stopped.
Oh, so you did pick it up?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I stopped for a moment to really just like have my inner monologue appreciate how well this game performs.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
I do feel like there's it's certainly not perfect. It's got a few things that I'll say the only things that really trip me up is that sometimes the movement feels like it's a little imprecise. And I don't mean
I get that at first, and I got way better at it. Like when you're trying to like zero in on the chair at the camps and stuff. There
was one particular thing in the area that I think Geoff and I are both in the same area, like the big construction area. There's one area where you can climb up. You can go up an elevator, and then you can actually jump across the buildings, and you get a chest. When I jumped back, when I landed on the middle platform, as soon as I landed, she just kind of ran off the edge. And
I know what
it's so there's little things like that where it just
usually
feels
she's pretty
like
sticky and doesn't go over the edge, but I suppose in some certain circumstances.
That particular I ran off the edge twice during that one section. I was like, I didn't do that. But it hasn't been it doesn't happen. I don't see it during combat. I think that's what's really important is that I haven't really felt that while I'm in combat. Like combat feels good, it feels smooth. The only thing I feel in combat is sometimes I feel like the parrying is not going off, even though I feel like I'm hitting it at the right time.
Okay.
And maybe that's just me, maybe it's lag, maybe it's
I think once you get used to it, you'll
Yeah,
I think it's pretty accurate now. I think they definitely sped it up since the demo. That delay that I noticed in the demo, I have not noticed a delay.
That. Yeah, they patched that out.
Okay.
Apparently, that was due to like some like HDMI settings, like a HTTP. It's fucking weird, whatever it was, weird. But yeah, that was causing delay. But no, I guess that's better now. So, and there's items that you can use and equip that will like open up the windows a little bit. There's a certain item that I use throughout the entire game that helped with the parry and dodge windows. So
nice. Okay. Yeah, that was some of the first skills that I unlocked was opening up the window a little bit with those for those. And that certainly felt better after that. But I do find, and a lot of it has to do with a lot of it has to do with just getting the playtime in and fighting against these enemies multiple times and understanding their mechanics and how they move. So I absolutely understand that it's like it's probably at least 75% me, right? So
once you get their patterns down, it becomes very easy. Like bosses,
and
if I lose to one once or twice,
it's super fun.
It's like once you get them, it's like, oh shit, like then it's kind of like a cakewalk. So it's like a good level of difficulty, at least where I am. I'm a bit past where you are now, Chris. I'm like about 9 or 10 hours in. And I kind of the same thing with Chris with the platforming is where I find the most, I guess, jank, and especially when you're chaining together different platforming, like wall running to jump to dash to wall running. That kind of stuff can be finicky, or especially if you have to grab a rope at the end. Like if you don't do that almost perfectly, like most games will have like a little bit of a suction. This seems to not have that. So
I've definitely jump at times to that for sure.
Yeah, and you notice right when you jump, you're like, oh, that's not gonna work.
Luckily, there's not like entire levels dedicated to platforming. No, it's few and far between. I think it's doled out and moderated really, really well, and that goes for like a lot of the gameplay elements outside of combat. Like puzzles and shit like that. They do have those. They're varied. And they don't tend to get stale as well. Like there were probably like a handful of different types of like mini game type sequences or puzzles, and they were pretty much different every time, and it was kind of refreshing to get a new one or something like that. Like it was a good respite from the really hardcore action.
They don't fall into that trap.
That is the only time you're ever going to hear me say that I like puzzles in an action game.
In an action game. Yeah, they do seem
I think that's a testament to the things that they did right. It checks it like you said, it checks a lot of boxes. And the combat is very smooth. It's satisfying. It's varied. Like you have a short and a strong attack, but there's so many different combinations that you can create for combos. And then you can, I like that you can sprint in, and if you hold down triangle, she does that dash movement, and then you can can extend on that, and you can open all into combos. Yeah, it's really, really good.
And that's the thing, like it's like what Jason alluded to. It's not. They don't give that to you all at once, and you have to remember it's like you'll open up the main one, then you get enough points, you can open up the second part. By that part, you already got muscle memory that you're already doing the first one. Then you add in the second step to that. Then it's like, oh shit, there's a third step eventually, and it's like, okay, the way it does that is really good at teaching the player its mechanics without the overwhelming feeling, which I thought it was going to have after that demo. After seeing those like skill trees, I was kind of like, oh god.
Yep. Yeah, I actually like 2 of them are still locked for me. I haven't
same. Them all yet, I just opened up the double jump, and that's like a story thing. So it's like,
oh, okay, yeah, I'm not even there yet. So, the construction site, there's like the way to move on from the construction site where you go through the lift. I haven't gone through the lift. I've explored that entire area, and the next thing for me to do is go through that. The lift.
Girl, this first little skill check of the game so far.
No.
Oh, okay. So I don't think you're exactly where I was then.
Okay.
There's a part coming up that is what I would call the first skill check of the game, where it's not an overly difficult boss, but they make sure you know how to parry, and consecutively. Like if you miss one, you are losing that fight, or you have to just make sure you get like 5 or 6 parries in a row.
Oh wow!
It's not hard.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to die a lot. That's. Have you guys noticed?
I want to say that like you can still just regular block. A lot of that stuff. Like you're encouraged. You're encouraged to parry. And in fact, it behooves you to do it like in the beginning.
Yeah, because the move when you stun them is just ridiculous.
And that is great. But it's in your best interest to, I think, just block at first, so you learn their patterns, and whatever the last hit's going to be, that's the one that you fucking parry, and you just kind of layer it, on top of that. It's like soon you're parrying 4 things in a fucking row, and you're stunning them, and then you're hitting triangle.
That's how I beat that thing we were talking about in Discord earlier. Is I just finally, but the one I'm talking about specifically is the skill check. Is you have to do the parry. Because if you block or just attack, she heals herself and refills her pips.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
You have to get like perfect parry. I think it's like 5 times in a row.
Damn.
You basically have to stun her, and then at that point it just plays out like normal. But yeah, so that's where I thought you were. So, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Just it's
Okay.
you'll be fine. It's not it's not an overly hard consecutive parry. It's not like it's crazy fast and slow fast. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy rhythm.
Have you guys? I'm trying to figure out if it's just me because it only happens on. I think it's only one enemy that it really happens on. But have you noticed when you try and blink, if you're pushing a little off to the side when you're pushing up, the blink doesn't go off?
Yeah, you got to hit forward or back later on. Yeah.
Yeah, back is the riposte or whatever it is, but I've run into there's one dude that his move that you're supposed to blink through. He and it's one of the regular enemies. Like he picks you up and slams you on the ground. And for some reason, when he does his move, every time I try and blink, she just moves to the side instead of going through him. Like,
but you can still you still dodge it.
Yeah, you can
like
still dodge
a lot
it.
of times you still dodge it. Yeah, I've come across that with that exact enemy as well.
And that's a huge window. Like
it is.
Yeah,
it's a very one.
I think the only thing I really don't like, but I don't really care because I don't look for story much in an action game, character action game, is the voice acting and the characters are dull as fuck. They're
a little wooden.
No personality.
Sure. But dude, like later on in the game, you'll find out that Eve is a fucking stone cold, hardcore bitch. Sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a certain moment where it's just like, holy shit, damn Eve, you fucking.
I'm fine with that. If the other characters would contrast and at least have some Lily's the only character I think that has a little bit of personality.
Well, I kind of. I don't really disagree because they are very wooden and not very flashy as characters, but it kind of makes sense within the world and the lore who Eve is. Like she's a robot, she's kind of programmed
but
to
that
be
doesn't
a
make
way.
a good
but
game.
You can already
but
but I'm already seeing little bits and pieces of humanity, little questions and curiosities that she's having, and that's the part of her that I find very interesting, even though her voice is monotone and her face doesn't change. But it makes sense to me. So I don't actually have a problem with her.
For her, yes. But like I said, if the other characters would contrast that, and the other characters are the exact same, and they're human. So it's like, have some kind of emotion. Like the games that do that well, where they go into like the lore and the reasoning, like why a character is like that, they have other characters and other aspects to the story that don't have that same feeling and that same experience. So like when you get to a cutscene, it's not like, oh shit, Adam's in this cutscene, this is going to be good. Like, no, I'm just like, and if the cutscene's not like an action heavy cutscene, I'm just like zoning out. Except for Lily. Lily will sometimes say something kind of, which by the way, I feel very wrong about Lily, but I mean in terms of like, like people call out the sexiness of the characters, and that's fine. I'm not against that at all. It's Bayonetta, it's Nier Automata, it's all stuff. It's okay. But the fact that Lily is clearly meant to look like an underage girl,
well,
and the way they animate her,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh man. I'm like,
I don't think I've run into her yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, you all this main story thing.
So, and not necessarily in defense, like kind of like what Travis said. Like I get it. Like in the context of like some of these characters, there's a very subtle things that they allude to that like points to their humanity and their personality, I think, a little bit. There's one particular quest storyline where this guy has this android character, and he is like absolutely head over heels in love with this girl.
A couple of those. Yeah.
And by the end of it, they're fully fleshed out characters and stuff, and you get it, and you tend to feel for them a little bit. So the characters grew on me after a while. So
I'm happy to hear
That's
that.
good.
Just
Yeah, that's
because
good.
where I'm at now, it's not that I don't like the characters; they're just all the same.
I get you. I totally do. I
hope if they do get fleshed out and felt like that's perfect, but
they do.
In my back of my head, I can't help but think, but say like, okay, like if you're playing a video game about a mailman and all you're doing is delivering mail and being like, well, everything's a fetch quest.
That's
that just still makes a shitty video game. It's like I don't care how realistic it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So Death Stranding.
Jason's trying to make me mad.
Pure later simulator.
Oh shit.
Oh man, I'm really loving it though, man.
Yeah.
It's my jam. It's like, dude, I knew I was going through a gaming funk. Like I couldn't stick with anything. Like I couldn't. I'm still not done with Final Fantasy yet. What I'm going to. I'm still liking it, but once I started Stellar Blade, that's all I could really play. That's all I've been really kind of playing.
It's all I can think about. Like, I did 99.9% of like the side quests and everything too. So,
dude, yeah.
Wow,
I never do that.
They're good. They're voice acted. You know, for the most part, there's some bulletin board quests that are just like
the bulletin board ones are.
The early quests so far have been rough.
But later on, you get the quest lines, you know, for different characters and stuff like that. So they're intriguing. They're written pretty well. The voice acted, you know, they're fine. But it's more than just like fetch quests. I was happy with like all the side shit.
And even the bulletin board stuff, they're really fast, and you can like accept a bunch of them, do them really quickly, and turn them all in at once, and then you get like a shitload of ability points. Like it's good for that.
There's so many like quality of life things too. Like, you know, you mentioned the turning in quest. Whenever you complete a quest, you know, there's a prompt that comes up that says, "Hey, do you want to go back to the bulletin board, or do you want to go back to this person?" And you just press a button, and it's like you're teleported there. That's great.
So similar to what Final Fantasy VII does, actually. Yep. Yeah, good.
So there's tons of little things like that that really spell like quality of life good shit. I appreciate it.
It's so incredibly surprising because I don't think any of us were
polished.
really expecting anything out of this. You know.
Yep.
No, I expected X-Blades too.
Seriously.
I do like the music too. The K-pop in this is pretty stellar.
The music's fucking great, especially I told you about like the install power. Oh God, when you get that power and you fire it up, the music changes and it gets all fucking anime and shit, and it's great. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm loving it so far.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm looking forward to getting back to it.
I have an entire page of notes here that I've taken, but I won't get into everything. But just know that.
Is there anything in your notes that you really want to get out right now?
Boobies.
Yeah, those happen.
They'll make Itagaki proud. Itagaki somewhere being like, yeah.
No, I think I got most of it out. Let me give you my gripes though, and these are my nitpicky things, and that's all that I have. The equipment gear didn't excite me much. I kept to the same like exo spine thing. I kept that through the entire game. Never changed it.
Yeah.
The stealth one?
No, not the stealth one.
Okay. That's what I'm sticking with so far.
There was a combo damage one. Where like level 2 combos, you do additional damage. Yeah. And that helped me out throughout the entire game. Eventually you get the ability to use 2 different ones. So they vary it up a little bit. Anyway, my second gripe is like some areas really need a map. And there are like 2 to 3 areas that do not have a map at all. And it makes it really, really tough at points because, you know, the maps are not necessarily open world, but there's lots of different nooks and crannies that you can get into. Also, no mini map to speak of throughout the entire game, which is kind of a bummer.
No, crazy. Just the what's it called? The compass thing.
Yeah, just the compass thing. Like, I can't tell you how many times I brought up the map and I'm like, okay, I got to turn around, turn left, they're going to go straight, and then I would turn left, and then it's like, oh, where am I going? I'd have to pull up the map again instead of just like following the mini map. So.
Oh, and they don't. Another thing is that the map, your indicator of you on the map, is it's by the way the camera is facing, not the way she's facing.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Really?
So I've had to make it like a mental thing to be like, okay, when I bring up my map, make the camera go behind her, because so many times I pull it up and it's like, oh, the arrow's pointing north. I'm just going to keep going straight, and then I rotate again, we keep going straight, and then I look on the map, I'm like, why am I way out on the west side of this map now? And then I realize, I'm like, shit, it's going by the where the camera's aimed, not where she is.
That's good to know.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Anecdotally, like this is like a near perfect like character action game for me. You know, this it ticks a lot of boxes. It's one of my favorites in the genre for sure, and absolutely a Game of the Year contender for me.
Nice.
So
nice,
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait to put some more time into it. I should have more time this weekend.
It's exciting to see developers start to like synergize like more like Souls-like type of sensibilities into character action games. So then not everything is Devil May Cry, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's not
super, like Star Wars.
Yeah, it's not super over the top action or anything like that. Like there's no air combat to speak of, which something
I think that's
really
good
enjoy.
for it.
But I think it's good for it. It's tempered. Like it's everything's done in fucking perfect moderation.
Yep.
But I'll say, like, one of the things that really that I've noticed about this game is like I certainly approach multiple enemies in a much different way.
Good,
you know,
it's like fuck you up, dude.
Yeah, they will absolutely fuck you up if you're not careful. Like going up against one enemy, fine, blitz in, I'll sprint in, do the triangle move where she kind of spins forward and open up a combo, do a couple parries, and boom. But if there's like 2 or 3 people, like enemies in the room, I'm very much like circling on the backside of like outside of the whole thing.
Do some kiting for sure.
Yeah,
that's when you have to like. I can't talk enough about the stealth kill, like the behind the backstab.
Fucking great.
Yeah,
gotta have it.
Unlock that shit as soon as you can.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then the one that you can upgrade it so it gives you health when you do it and stuff. That's awesome.
Or
that's a good way.
Do you find you get to use that a lot?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have a really shitty like field of view. So it's like
and you can make it better.
Yeah, you can make their field of view
shittier,
worse. Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Okay,
that's great.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've been kind of moving around on the skill tree. I haven't really opened that up yet, so I'll open it up and see how it works.
Also, with the backstabs, the majority of the enemies that I've come across in the game, and it's early doors. I've only played like 5 hours. They're all on like a set path, like. And they walk back and forth on that path. It's very easy to sit back, see the path they take, and then sneak in for a backstab. Like, you can kind of like clear the pack a little bit. Yeah,
it's animated so well too. Oh god.
Oh, I love the animations. Those
the
small
sound effects and everything.
The small little flourishes. Like I was noticing something weird on her head when she was sheathing her weapon. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I noticed
fucking hair tie or something.
Like that hair tie.
It's
just disappears in the hair tie. It's great.
She holds the sword in her hair,
so cool.
and it just turns into that hair tie. It's so weird, and it's back and forth every single time she pulls out her weapon. Like little animation flourishes like that makes it a little special. Yeah.
I will say, I'm not sure if any of you did this, but in the options, there's an option to do short hair, long hair. I went to short hair. I think that the long hair is just kind of overly distracting. Did you? Okay, good.
It's too too wispy and like it goes in her butt crack too much. And I need to look at that. I need to look at that unobstructed.
That butt.
Yes,
I'm impressed with the hair physics, so I haven't turned.
They do pretty well with it. They do pretty well with it.
Yeah.
Another quality of life thing, I'm not sure if you guys did in the options, is turn on the ability to auto pick up stuff.
Oh, yes. Of course.
I did that too.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my god. It's great to go up to a chest, open it, like 8 things come out, and you
hold down the button.
Bing, 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 bing.
Just all goes away. Yep. Yeah, definitely. I always check the options first before I start a game. So those 2 things were the ones that I was like, I'll give this a try as far as like the ponytail. And then as soon as I saw auto pick, I just absolutely.
And you can open up a hairstylist, man. You can change your hair whenever you want. A bunch of different stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to make your character look exactly like Bayonetta, you can.
I did that. That is, I got her the half rim glasses and stuff, and yep. I did that.
Yeah, heck of a game.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stuff opens up when you get to Zion, and I'm not there yet. So.
Yeah, that's the hub world essentially. So yeah,
gotcha.
And you'll get a bunch of quests right away, and you know what? You'll complete them, and then you'll get more, and then you'll get more. They keep.
But I like that because it doesn't give it to you again. It doesn't give it to you all at once, and it's not icon vomit all over the map.
It's all about moderation. And there's towers that you climb in order to like unlock map stuff or whatever, that cliche, but you know what, there's 2 of them in the entire game. That's it. So it's like, it's not even that big of a deal. It's bravo.
I don't even want to talk about any other games after this, actually.
I know.
I think it's just very interesting how this all worked out, because 2 months ago we were like, man, I hope this game isn't crap.
Cautiously optimistic is the terminology that we use.
That was about as high a praise as we got with what we saw.
Even after the demo, we were like more impressed by it, but we weren't like. I think Jason was the only one who bought, or you bought it on day 1 too, right, Chris?
Yeah,
I bought it day 1. Yeah, I just haven't had a lot of time to.
I wasn't gonna get it, then I was like, "Fuck, all right." And then Travis wasn't gonna get it, and he was like, "Fuck, all right." So, yeah.
That's what having friends get you.
When was the last time the 4 of us all played the same game? Oh,
it's been a minute.
Baldur's Gate.
No, Haze.
What did you say?
Haze.
Oh, Haze. Oh, man.
Actually, I don't know why I said that, because Baldur's Gate was recently, and we all have hull divers now too. So
that is true.
Yep,
that is true. All right, moving on.
What else we got?
I got a couple of games.
Okay, what you got?
Let's start with some RPGs. The year of RPGs continues with a kickstarted, highly anticipated spiritual successor to the Suikoden series. So I picked up and played Eiyuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes.
Okay.
This
are there in fact 100 heroes like
there
Suikoden?
Are actually 120 heroes.
Oh, okay.
Well,
120 heroes.
Yeah.
That would just be a terrible title, though. So good on them for just keeping it 100. Smart. This game's pretty good. It's not going to blow anyone's mind or anything like that. This game is Suikoden 6 in everything.
6, really? Oh wow!
Yeah, it really is.
I didn't know.
It really is the sequel to Suikoden that we wanted.
Well,
it plays.
Hold on.
What's that?
Hold on. Which sequel that we wanted? Because I didn't like. So so when it comes to Suikoden, I loved 1 and 2 on the PS1. When I got to 3, I was like, "What did they do to my game?" Like they changed.
It was
much about how it worked.
It was a new system. They wanted to update the graphics and everything like that. I like 3 a lot. I think Scott Sauer and I are probably the 2 only people alive that like that game. But Eiyuden Chronicles is really good. I think it does fall in line more with 1 and 2 than it does 3, 4, and 5. It is competent. It has a pretty decently strong story. Combat is very similar to what you would recognize from Suikoden games like 1 and 2. So you have like a 6-man party.
See, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's all there. The auto attack is there, so you can set up your attacks manually if you want, or you can just have the AI do it yourself. You can set they have some very, very light Gambit style options in the menus. But I never really felt like I got them to work properly. So it definitely seemed a little bit of a half-baked Kickstarter thing that they added to the game towards the end of development. It just doesn't seem like it works very well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm looking at a video right now. It definitely looks more like 1 and 2. Yeah,
it does. And visually, it's stunning. So they do the 2.5D. Very similar to what Octopath Traveler does. But Octopath Traveler definitely still keeps that 16-bit aesthetic, whereas this has more of a 2D hand-drawn aesthetic on top of a well-made 3D world and everything. So like visually, it looks really, really, really good. The 3D models for bigger bosses, they look okay, but a lot of the 2D hand-drawn characters, especially the enemies, kind of rival what Vanillaware has done in the past. Some of the enemies look really, really, really good. But I love the visual quality of this game. Let me get to the bad stuff real quick. So I would have had this game beat by now. But I hit a game-breaking bug late in the game. I'm on the second to last.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying something about that.
So I'm on the second to last story mission in the game, and there's some issue with the day-night cycle. There isn't a day-night cycle in the game, but there is a story mission that goes from night to day, and I'm supposed to do something at night before it transitions to day, and for some reason the game transitioned to day before I could do that story mission. So now it's just kind of locked me out. So crossing my fingers for some sort of hot fix sometime soon so I can finish the game, but as of right now the game is kind of just a paperweight. So that's unfortunate. I wanted to get that out of the way as early as possible because clearly technically the game has a lot of issues. So if you're wanting to play this game, I would definitely kind of sit on it and wait. If you are a fan of Suikoden, this game is going to be
your jam.
Really, really good. It's going to be your jam. If you like newer JRPGs and you want to try out this game that you've been hearing a lot about, I don't think this is going to be for you. I just don't. It's a classic JRPG. So if you're in the mood for that, this is going to be your jam. But overall, it's been a positive experience, except for the game-breaking bug. I'll be very disappointed if I can't come back and finish this game, because I am curious of what's going to happen.
Did you buy it?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it's on Game Pass.
Is it on Game Pass? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Or did I get it on Game Pass? No, I got it on Game Pass.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it on Game Pass.
Okay. Because it's $50 on Steam. I'm looking on Steam and it's like, wow, all right.
Huh.
Didn't expect that.
Did you play the first game that was like the prequel to this, or like the?
Yeah, it was called Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, I think. Yeah, I did play a little bit of that. It's more like a 2D side-scrolling action RPG. So it plays completely different than Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. But it just kind of gave you like a little bit of an intro to the world. And then a lot of those characters that are in that game clearly are in 100 Heroes. But yeah, it's fine. A lot of the characters are really great. They set out to make 120 characters that you can recruit, and they all have to look, sound, act differently. And I think they do a pretty good job with that. Clearly, a lot of their effort went into creating these characters, and they all look really, really good, from the sprites themselves all the way up to the hand-drawn art.
Chris looks defeated. What happened, Chris?
What happened?
There's a season pass.
Oh, yeah. Well,
come on, man! It's an RPG. What the fuck are you doing here? Oh man. Okay. Anyway,
milking is what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't like it.
Yeah. So that's that. Hopefully, I can finish it. Looking forward. I'm checking Xbox every day for that hotfix. Checking every day.
Oh, yeah, that's a bummer.
So far,
gotta be. Have you looked to see if anybody else has run into the same issue?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's all over the Reddits. It's happening. It's a known issue. So we'll see.
Well, that's good then, because it means they probably will have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So we can hope.
We'll see.
Yeah,
anybody
keep
else
us
updated?
Let's see. I started playing the game that Geoff was talking about last week.
I finished that game. So
did you?
I did.
Tell me more about it. I'm only about 2 hours.
Well, I'm not going to tell you more about it. Not much more. There's not much more to really say other than I'm still high on it. I still think it's 100% worth playing, especially if you have a Plus subscription. And even if not, if you like Metroidvanias, I think it's $20 everywhere else. So if you don't have PS Plus, I still think it's worth it. It's short. You can probably kill it in easily a weekend. I think I don't know, 7 hours, maybe 6.5.
Okay.
Something is when I finished it. I didn't do absolutely everything though. But it's not as sprawling as Prince of Persia. So it doesn't take, it's not like Prince of Persia, I didn't do everything either. And that was fucking 19 hours, I think it took me to beat it, or 20. So I ended up really liking it. Good story. I liked the ending. I liked how everything kind of played out. Some epic battles. There's a little bit of some difficulty spikes towards the end, which I wasn't really a fan of, because it starts doing things that the game doesn't really train you to do. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, in this arena here, let's just throw like 2 of these enemies, and they've never fought 2 of these before, with another 3 of these. And it's like, there is no build. You know, like games like that who do it really well. This is kind of like, okay, well, we need to make it a little bit more difficult. But that was a little minor nitpick. But I want to know what you think of it so far, Chris, because you just started.
So far I'm enjoying it. I like the dynamic of going back and forth between ranged and melee. That's really fun. I've noticed that I've started, especially after I opened up like the first item in the skill tree for the ranged, because they, you know, the what is it, the Gears of War reload mechanic, where you click at the right time and reload. And that's essentially what this is. It's like if you use up all of your charges, you can, if you hit the button at the right time, it will recharge all of your soul at the same right away, and it powers it up. So you're doing extra damage. So that's actually been kind of fun to mess with on this type of game. But you know, the combat feels pretty good. I've noticed that I stick to a lot of the ranged, because it doesn't feel like things flinch at all when you do melee. So even if you're in the middle of a combo,
they don't. You gotta dash through if they're gonna swing during a combo.
Yeah. So there's no flinching, so you have to get used to dodging. You go in, you take a few shots, and then you dodge through them, or you back off and you do the ranged. But overall, gameplay is really good. I am not a fan of the map system, because this is a Metroidvania, and they give you like one of the things that's so important about a Metroidvania is knowing where you've been and where you still need to go. And in a lot of situations, what I've noticed is it just opens up all of the area. And if there's a spot you can't get to, it doesn't mark it for you at all. There's no way to know that I need to go back to that spot. So it kind of...
Well, you never really have to go back. I think that's why.
Unless you want, unless you want to get everything.
Yeah, if you want to get everything and do all the collectibles. But I mean, in terms of like, there's no times where the story makes you backtrack to get something that you need to get. Like, you get everything by progressing the story, and you can improve stuff. So it doesn't really, I guess, because it's optional. But I get you. Yeah, it's kind of annoying in that way. Like, if you find something that, fuck, I can't get through here. You get, like Prince of Persia just had that great mechanic where you can take a picture.
Yes, absolutely.
There's not really any need for that. But if you wanted to, that option's not there. And they do show you, for the most, they'll show you the area you're in. And yes, what bugs me is they don't highlight where you've been in that part. So you can kind of get lost a little bit here and there, be like, where? But it's pretty, you'll see it's pretty linear in that way. You're not going to get lost often, so that part is an issue. But I get it. And
it's not about getting lost. It's like I've already run into a couple of areas that I can't get to, and once I leave, it's like I don't know where those are ananymore. It's like they're not. There's no way for me to identify them on the map as someplace I haven't been yet.
No, but what they do is when you do the backtracking parts where you do go through there, once you have the ability, they do mark. They don't mark like, this is where you can go, but where the story marker is, it takes you through an area where you couldn't go through before, but now you can. But so like I said, it's
marker. I gotcha.
Exactly. So you'll think it's an optional area, like, oh, I'm going to remember this and come back. There might be something here. It's mostly like, no, I'll just come back here because the story's going to have me come back here for a part. And it's always only that initial area. Usually, it's not like 4 areas back. So like they have a fast travel system. I don't think I used it once. Except for like one.
Oh, really?
I think I used it one time. Yeah. Well, again, I don't go for all the collectibles and stuff, so there wasn't really a need to.
Yeah, I usually do. That's kind of one of the reasons I was so disappointed. But I will say this: like the map itself is beautiful. Like it gives you it's not like just like the minimalistic map where it's just little squares. Like it gives you like this is what the map is, and it shows you where all of the platforms are like on the screen when you're looking at the map. It just highlights.
It's a detailed
everything.
map.
It's a very detailed map. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. You know, it just highlights everything for you and doesn't indicate where you've been and where you haven't. So it's a drastic flaw to a very beautiful map.
Yeah, exactly. But, it's Prince of Persia light in a lot of ways, and I'm fine with that because it's $20.
I'll say that. And there's a lot of like the platforming certainly doesn't get as challenging, at least so far.
Well,
it doesn't get as challenging so far as Prince of Persia. There's a lot of places on Prince of Persia where it's rough.
What this does, you played Ori, right?
I did, yeah.
You can tell they took some initiative and been like, hey guys, sorry, I should say lack of initiative. They took some influence from the Ori games because there's a number of areas that do that thing where, do you remember the tree where you had to go up the tree and if you didn't get it perfectly?
Fuck, Jeff, I remember the fucking tree. Yeah.
Yes. There's a few.
I think I'm done with
a few moments like that. No, they're not. It's not as long as that section, but there's a few of them that definitely made me want to throw my controller a couple times. But again, it just comes down to memorization and whatever. But I think they did it one too many times.
Gotcha. Okay.
Towards the end, but yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'll certainly continue to play it. And hopefully I'll be able to say that I beat it next week if you're saying it's as short as it was. But Stellar Blade has my attention right now, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Only other thing for me is Helldivers because fucking Helldivers.
Because obviously,
great.
Well, democracy, right?
You're
fighting that fight.
Yeah. And there's a new War Bond coming out that's got some
electric shit. No, it's ice stuff, isn't it?
It's a polar something.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember, but looks like there's some interesting stuff in there. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I keep wanting to go back and get that first one, that first premium one, and every time I get enough super credits, it's like another War Bond is coming out, so I'm spending it on the new one. So I still don't have like that incendiary shotgun.
You've played enough to warrant like spending
the
$10. Yeah, come on.
I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Is spend the $10.
Do it.
And it's worth it. Like it's such a good game.
Yep,
such a good game. But yeah, I think that's it for me. Any other games to talk about?
I'm playing a little bit more too. Let's see, another Crab's Treasure.
Oh yes,
I played a little bit of that.
Boys,
I saw you mention this. What is this?
So, Another Crab's Treasure is a Souls-like, but you are a tiny little hermit crab, and you have to go venture across the seafloor with a little fork in your hand to go pay your taxes so you can get your shell back. And if that sounds fun and ridiculous, it is, because that's what this game is. It's just fun and ridiculous. And I think it actually plays very, very well. It's a very competent video game. So yeah, you play as Krill. Your shell gets stolen because you're a hermit crab. You live in there and you need to get it back. So that's generally the introduction to the game.
That's the plot. Okay.
Yep.
Believe it or not, there is so much story in this game. There is more story in this game than there is for most Souls-likes out there and everything. And it takes some interesting turns too, believe it or not. Like, it's not, they're not writing a story that's going to win an Oscar or a BAFTA or anything like that, but it's fun. Like, the characters are each they all have their different senses of humor. Like, there are laugh out loud moments in this game. Like,
I say it's pretty funny.
My only gripe is that the vast majority of this game is text based. I wish it was fully voice acted. It would be really funny.
The amount of like aquatic puns is great.
Yeah, it's all puns. All puns. They even riff on Elden Ring. There is a big swath of is a biome called the Sands Between instead of the Lands Between. So like little puns like that, they do that all throughout the game. Combat wise, the combat is general Souls fare. You have a little bit of a weighty attack, a little stiff weighty attack that is forcing you to play more strategically because these enemies are going to pack a punch, whether it is a standard enemy or if it's a boss, they're going to pack a punch. And that is kind of my biggest gripe of the game. And it's not necessarily me saying the game is too hard. There is a balancing issue, and I would not be surprised if we see a patch in the next week or two that kind of lessens damage output from enemies.
You can do that already.
I want the normal difficult. I don't want to mess with any of those settings when I'm playing.
Okay.
I want to play the game on its normal difficulty.
But then why do you want them to patch it?
Because I want the intended difficulty to be balanced for the game in general. I don't want to mess with accessibility options. I don't understand what's confusing about that.
Well, no, because the accessibility options, well, I mean, it seems like I guess it doesn't make sense to me because whether the developer put this out the way it is, so obviously it's the way they intended it to. But then you're saying I wouldn't be surprised if there's a balance.
You can't say
patch.
that. So many every single video game comes out nowadays and gets patched because it's
of course it does.
Intended.
But I'm just saying, in the meantime, you can change that in the options to put their power down or your power up.
I totally could do that, but I don't wanna. I want
then.
I want the standard difficulty that is out of the box to be balanced a little bit better, because like the reason I say that is a good example of a Souls-like not very well balanced is if you find yourself dying constantly with health potions still available. That means that the enemies aren't giving you a chance to even like step back.
They're killing you way too fast.
They're killing you way too fast, way too easily. And especially bosses in this game, 1 or 2 hits, you're done. Absolutely dead to rights. So you have to be very, very strategic and very, very careful. And the way you be strategic is by way of the shells that you can pick up, because there's trash littered all throughout the seafloor bed, and there are things like bottle caps, coffee mugs, weird sponges, boxing gloves. There's tons, like tens and tens and tens of items that you can wear as a shell, and that is also your shield. And every shield they have different weight limits. So something could be heavy, that's going to give you a kind of like a fat, like a fat roll.
Yeah.
In a Souls game, that's going to give you kind of like a worse. I can't talk today. They're going to give you worse iframes on a large shell, but if you get a small shell, you're going to have the best iframes for your dodge, but you can't take that much damage until your shell breaks when you use it as a shield. So there's a give and take there, but you'll quickly find the shells that you enjoy the most, and stick with those. The coffee mug, for one, is kind of the one that I stuck with throughout the majority of the game. It just gave me the best durability that I found. But so combat wise, it's extremely serviceable. The attack is a little bit too stiff for my liking, but does
it vary a bit from weapon to weapon, or
there is no weapon to weapon? So Krill has one weapon. He's
got claws.
You just get the fork the whole time.
Yeah, so he has a fork the entire time. Now you can upgrade using resources that are around the game. So you can upgrade it and make it stronger
to a fork. I got
very similar. Yeah, very very similar to that. But they do offer they do unlock some abilities later on in the game. So like, you have your slashing attack, but they do unlock some blunt hammer attacks by way of a special ability that if you do a heavy attack onto, say you're wearing a shell, you can only carry one shell because it's the one you're wearing. But if you find another shell laying around the ground or a piece of trash or whatever, you can do a heavy attack on that, and you will attach that shell to the tip of your weapon, and then it turns the weapon into a club.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I 100% recommend that skill. If you're interested in playing that game, have that be the first skill that you unlock, because that completely eases up the difficulty quite a bit, because the damage output's much, much higher when you attach a shell to your weapon. So, little pro tip there. So last 2 things I want to talk about. One, I'm not too hot on. The other, I love. The parry system. Parrying and blocking is very, very important. They want you to block all the time. You need to embrace blocking like crazy. But there's a parry system, and the parry is a little bit different. So usually parries are very similar to Stellar Blade. Right before an enemy attacks, you want to tap your block button, and that'll kick off the parry. The parry is a little bit weird in this game. Like, you hold down the button to put your shell over your body, and that holds the block.
Okay.
But to parry, you need to release the block button.
Whoa! Oh no, that'll fuck with my. Yeah,
I don't.
And when you're playing two games
at all,
when you're playing two parrying games at the same time, it gets a little confusing.
I didn't even know you could parry in that. Do they teach you that, or is that?
They do teach you it.
I only played for like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, it's a skill that you unlock.
Okay.
Very early in the game, but yeah, you kick off the parry by releasing.
I cannot wrap my head around that. Holy shit!
It's a mess. Like, you do get used to it, but it's not my favorite parry by
sure
by a long mile.
Do not. I'm surprised. Oh, you already beat Crab, right?
I haven't beat it yet. No, I'm pretty close to the end.
I was gonna say, I can just see you switching back between Stellar and Crab and just being fucked.
Yep.
Like, I'm jumping between both, and it is confusing. It is.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But the last thing that I love that I want to talk about is I think this is one of the better controlling Souls-likes, or not just Souls-likes, just games in general. The 3D platforming is stellar. Everything feels good. The way Krill like smoothly runs the bases, the way he has like when you jump, he has like a falling glide, and it's just him kind of like flailing his arms and swimming, and that glide feels nice. That glide feels really, really good. There is, later on in the game, you unlock the ability to use a grapple, and that feels really, really good. So like the moment to moment platforming is stellar. They did a really, really good job. And if you're just in a mood for a cute looking game, super funny with great platforming, definitely jump on this. It's a pretty hot game. Yeah.
My son's interested. He's really good at 3D platformers and stuff, but he's nary played like a Souls-like game. So I wonder how he'd take to it.
This game has some of the best accessibility options I've ever seen.
Okay.
A game have for a Souls-like.
You can basically walk through it if you wanted to.
Okay. Huh. All right.
Yeah. You can put a gun on your back as a shell. That one hit kills everything in the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every enemy, every boss.
All right, that's my mode. I'm gonna play this out.
Jan on Giant Bomb was saying he's playing on the whatever standard difficulty, but he did put that one on. So if he fights a boss like 2 or 3 times, he just wants to get past it, he'll just pull out the gun and wipe it out and keep going.
I respect that. Okay.
I dig it. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll stick to it. It's
good, Jeff. I think you'll like it.
No, I again, Stellar, again, I haven't gone back to it since Stellar Blade, but I was digging what I played of it. Again, I wasn't too far or anything like that. But I'll give it a shot.
Very cool.
Is that on Plus as well? No, because you played it on Game Pass originally, then bought it on PlayStation, right?
No, I have it on Game Pass. Yeah.
I thought
even though the controller's loud. So wait, let me talk about that real quick. Is it the sticks that are loud or the buttons? Or is it both?
It's the shoulder, the LB and the RB.
Really? That's the loudest part?
Pop. Yeah, okay. Super loud, super clicky. And the face buttons, like the X, Y, BA, that's pretty clicky too.
My wife can
definitely click here.
If you follow my Twitter at all, like I'd linked to these little silicone rings that you put on the thumbsticks of your controllers, and it completely deadens the sound of like Xbox controllers, and it makes it so smooth, and so they're fucking clutch. They're ridiculous.
You put them on the sticks?
Yeah, you put them on the sticks. So you put it over the the thumb part, and it just it just wraps around. It's like a rubber band, essentially, like a little tiny rubber band. They're amazing. Like I bought a shit ton of them, and I've outfitted most of my controllers with them. They're super fucking cool.
Check it out.
Yeah, look into it. But that was an aside. Sorry.
No, very cool. All right. Anybody else?
Little stuff here and there, but nothing worth mentioning, really. Stuff I'm started up again. Oh, talk about it in news.
Don't even get me started on my ADHD gaming. Like just the constantly jumping from game to game to game. Oh,
that was me 2 weeks, like the last 2 weeks.
If you guys see right here,
Fallout 4.
I finally got my arcade cabinet up and running. If you
I can see that in the background. I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah, so I downloaded a Retrobat image, which is just like, it's got all the fucking ROMs. It's got all the fucking preview images and logos and shit. So we just boot that up and it just runs a fucking attract mode. It's cool. I like it.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Right. Anybody else? Or are we moving on?
I think we're moving on. Do we have Mr. Chorny? We have some news today.
We got 2 news things pretty quick. One of them very obvious because we all knew this was coming anyway because it happens every year. It's that E3 coming up, the non-E3.
What?
E3?
Oh,
what do you want to call it?
Summer Game Fest?
Yeah, Summer Games Fest is coming up.
Yeah.
Key 3. That's coming up in June, but the first, the Sony's, the Microsofts, Nintendo usually does something around then too, usually right before that starts. So Microsoft announced theirs. It's happening June 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be their game showcase. And then they have, right after that, a direct from a game that they redacted and have like a symbol. But
yeah, I wonder what
everyone and their grandmother knows it's Call of Duty Black Ops because they do that with every Black Ops game. They put in redacted. And it fits Black Ops. It's confidential. So that's happening. I mean, I already told Tanya, like, before we planned the trip, I'm like, it's E3 week, and the conferences are going to be on Sunday. Probably they always start on the Sunday, and there we go. So that'll be the first one. So, and I think the rumor is Sony might actually be doing theirs this month, towards the end of May. So
I heard that they were supposed to be doing something this month, right?
Yeah. So I'm assuming it'll probably be towards the end of May.
The PS5 Pro.
What? Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out.
The rumor. The other thing is Starfield. I picked up Starfield, and the day after I picked this up again, by pick up means started my New Game Plus again. They announced this the very next day, so now I'm like, well, fuck. Now I might just wait. They're having a huge update come out May 15th. They're adding in new difficulty options, the ability to respec after New Game Plus. The dynamic dialogue camera now is not going to zoom in when you talk to somebody, so you don't have to stare in their dead eyes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're adding in detailed city and surface maps, which actually look pretty cool. The way
they look really good.
3D.
They look really good. Yep.
And here's the one that this pisses me off because I don't mind. Everyone's doing this now. Devs are doing this. Like, talk about this. They release a game, then they add features in later, which is fine. Games have had this where they release at 30 frames, then they come down the line and they're like, oh, we're patching in at 30 frames per second mode, which they're doing with Starfield on the series consoles. There's going to be a performance mode now, which targets 60. If you have variable refresh rate, you can do the 40.
120.
The 120, but then there's the 41 at quality. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what pisses me off is that Todd Howard specifically said, and we all knew this is bullshit, was that it was a creative decision on consoles to keep it at 30 frames a second.
Oh, fuck off.
We know, no, because if that was the case, they would have capped it at 30 on PC as well. Just say, not at launch, but we're going to work on it having after launch. That's what other games have done. I mean, they even did that with Redfall. They did with A Plague Tale Requiem. That got a 60 afterwards. And there was something else that came out that got the 60 afterwards. So yeah, I'm happy it's coming. That's cool. But he's getting shit on, and he deserves all the shit he gets because he should have been straight up for it at front. And hey, listen, it's going to be 30 at launch. We're going to try to get a 60 out at some point. And I don't know, maybe he was afraid that people are going to wait because there might have been some that did. But anyway, people seem to be happy. And then there's the vocal minority that are very loud.
Yeah, sure.
With good reason. I mean, be happy it's coming, but dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
And they also mentioned that vehicles are coming too, that's going to be cool to be able to actually vehicles as in vehicles in Starfield and starships, like land vehicles. like a Mako type
like
thing.
a Lambo.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were talking about.
Yeah, and then mod support's going to be added to down the line. So they had some like 5-minute announcement video for this that they threw up on YouTube, and yeah,
The
and
mod
then the
support is
DLC
just
is coming
PC.
out.
I take it.
The which one?
The mod support is just PC.
Nope,
I
that's
take it?
console as well.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, actually, maybe at first it's going to be PC. Is it modding? Is there mods in the PC version now?
I would assume so, but
Yeah, I think it might be console then, because like Fallout has mods on console, and so does Skyrim.
yeah.
So I'm assuming it'll be also on console.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it though. That's the two things we're talking about.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Let's see. We have anything else? I think that's a show.
That might be it.
I could talk about Stellar Blade some more, but I'm good.
How about we go play Stellar Blade instead?
Yeah, okay.
Ooh.
All right. I'm on New Game Plus, by the way.
Nice.
40 hours they put into that game, and that,
wow. That's a lot.
What do you mean? New Game Plus and 60 frames a second on launch? Whoa.
I know. I'm not even paying $20 for the
I was going
fucking
to
mode.
say, not behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Did you get that season pass?
Wait a
Wow.
minute. This game's not on PlayStation 4 as well. Get out of town.
Yeah, exactly. Man. And this is their first big game. They're usually making mobile stuff. Wow. Take notes.
I think that's the big thing that surprises me the most is that we just haven't seen something like this from them. So
wow.
And it's Korean developers too.
Yeah.
We've been seeing a lot more from that region of the world. Some good games too. Yeah.
Yep. Liza P was Korean too, right?
It was. Oh no, I think that was China. Was that a Chinese developer?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. It's either Chinese or Korean. It's one of the two, but you are right.
It's either way. Good to see.
Indeed.
The game be good at launch.
And complete. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please tell your friends about us. Like, subscribe, and comment on this YouTube video. We really appreciate when you do that.
Please.
You can also check out our Patreon. I'm sorry. You can check out our Linktree by going to interactivedistractions.com. That will lead you to our Discord where you can come and chat with us, as well as our Patreon if you are interested in supporting us.
Come chat with us.
You can also check us out on Twitter. We are InDis Chris, Travis D-Bomb, Unistrike, and InDis Geoff.
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 And I think that's it. So until next time, my name is Chris.
I'm Travis.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Play your games, and we'll talk to you next week.